gonna be live tonight, so we're gonna have a lot of individuals watching. If you look out, you don't see people out in the audience, but the last program we had for the city of Greenwood, we had over 700 individuals watching. So it's very crucial that this be a success tonight for people to get to know you all. And I just want to say thank you. And at this time, I just want to just ask each individual to say who you are before we get this process started.
I'm Travis Williams. I'm a candidate for mayor.
Paul Parker, I'm running for post 1, city council.
Judy Truskolaski, running for post 2, city council.
Melissa Wortham, running for, against Paul Parker.
Luthersville, running for mayor.
And also individuals that's in the audience right now. We have one individual, Councilor Ricky Amy, that's not here at this time, but hopefully he will show up in the process. So, right now we're gonna get everything started, so who is the first individual we're gonna call down?
My name is Linda Hines. I'm one of the moderators.
I'm Leroy Ross, Assistant Chairman of MCAG, and I will actually be a moderator, and just thank you guys for coming, candidates for coming and sharing with us in this. As Damon said, we all about trying to make Maywood County a better place for our citizens and our children. So again, we appreciate you guys coming and sharing with us.
All right, let's get this thing started.
Okay.
We'll get everything all loosened up and everybody just be at home with your family here. So we're gonna turn it over to the moderators at this time.
Okay, our first two candidates will be Paul Parker and Melissa Wortham.
Yes, ma'am.
Robert comes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we have to go down there.
You know, it'd be easier for us with papers and notes and stuff, but can we stay here, or can we change the format a little bit?
Yes, no problem. So, this young lady right here will sit you talk.
Okay. You want us to come down?
I really would
Okay.
prefer if he did.
All right.
That's because we already had it set up.
That's fine. Oh, I see.
Aren't you?
Sorry, you can't.
And you live in Fremont.
That's correct.
And I've seen you before.
Yes,
Hello.
Okay, we'll get started. Mr. Parker,
Yes.
how would you attract more businesses and investment to the city?
Well, I think that Mayor Cuddy's done a great job in 4 years of pulling together our ordinances, making sure they're buttoned up, and one of my biggest items right now is the sewer system, that I know some people oppose it, but I think once you hear more about it, then I think that may change, but right now, people want restaurants. You can't have a restaurant in Georgia on a septic tank unless you invest in an aerobic treatment unit, and they're up to $30,000 a piece. So if you did have a sewer system in Luthersville, one thing I think, the first thing you're gonna see is more restaurants. And I think that's what I hear most people want. Other businesses will come also. But that's one of the first things I hear is we need more places for eating and late night dining, because I'm only open till 1 o'clock in our cafe. But making sure that it's easy to do business with the city, come in and not have a lot of red tape. Our ordinances are buttoned down. We know exactly what type of businesses are allowed and not allowed. And to me, when I'm meeting it, I've been on the council for 12 years, and I try not to have somebody say, well, let's wait till the next meeting to vote on it, or the next meeting. Somebody's trying to do business. And I say we move it ahead, but that's my plan.
Okay, Ms. Wortham, how would you attract more businesses and investments to the city?
Well, number one, I would try to help get a police department, full-time police department. Because if we have police protecting us, then the businesses will come. And that would make us work hand in hand with the Meriwether County Sheriff's Department kind of like overlapping. And then, I would get the water department fixed, or get a water department and get the water problem fixed. That we, Mr. Parker said, that we needed a sewer system, but you gotta have water to flush the sewer. So, water comes first, then the sewer, to me. But, anyway, and improve the off-street parking. And last but not least, try to get a bank back in the city. So many seniors and people that don't have transportation don't have bank accounts, and they have to go to either LaGrange or to Noonan. And if they don't have transportation, they're gonna have to pay somebody. We need a bank. And that's my 4 little, things, points.
Okay, when you say, parking off the street,
Yes, ma'am.
could you explain that a little bit?
Yes, when you're going down, you know, where the liquor store is and all those many businesses. Yes, Main Street, all that area back there, and the parking down towards 54. That could be lined off and paved, and make it more easy or friendly to park.
Okay, Mr. Parker, how accessible would you be to your constituents?
Well, I'm not sure I could be any more accessible. I'm downtown in the business 4 days a week. My phone number is really accessible to anyone. I go to the cafe every evening and work preparing and cleaning, and I think a lot of people know where I live, so I'm not sure that I could be any more accessible than I am. And I do talk to a lot of people. They feel free to call me, and I talk to them all the time, and I go visit them. So I think I'm accessible, but I'll try to be more accessible in the future. Thank you.
Okay, do I need to repeat the same question, Ms. Wortham? How accessible would you be to your constituents?
Well, I'm retired, and so I could be as accessible as, not as accessible as Mr. Parker. He's at the heartbeat of things. But I could be very accessible to things and to people and to their needs. And I'm an advocate for every citizen of Luthersville. We need advocates, and I think that I would be an advocate for them. I helped a lady. I didn't put up any signs because I just didn't want people, they're expensive, and I just didn't want people to take them and then destroy them. And so I've been going door to door, only to the open doors, because I don't know what's behind the closed ones. But, and there's this one lady, and she said that she had been trying to get her street fixed. And so I talked to her, and I did a follow-up with her. And I wrote her, she wanted home, but I wrote her a little note and let her know what was going on. And I haven't followed back up with her, but anyway, yeah, I'm accessible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Parker,
Yes, sir.
gonna move on to some real questions here. How would you fund your planning initiative?
Well, number one is there is money at the state level and federal level that all we have to do is hire a grant writer. Now, Don Cody's been writing these grants for 4 years and has brought in millions of dollars to the city. But they're not gonna offer it to you. They're not gonna just come say, here, take this money. You have to prove that you need it. You have to pre-qualify and be invited to apply for it. And then you apply for it, and then you go through the very stringent requirements of the grant. But the money is there. So for a very low cost of hiring a grant writer, they just have to get one grant to pay for themselves. So to me, that is an urgent need for the city. Right now, $6.5 million in grants for the sewer system, $1.35 million in the last month to help improve the water system with a 100% loan forgiveness. Okay, 100% loan forgiveness. Didn't cost taxpayers a dime. And there's more money there. And there'd be money there for police departments. So we'll talk about that in the future. Okay? So number one is grants. 100% loan forgiveness is the second one. So using taxpayer dollars would be the last choice. Thank you.
Ms. Wortham?
Yes, sir.
Same question, please.
Okay. Well, we collect taxes. I think, I don't know whether this, I feel like kinda sorta, that this is a hypothetical question, but I'll go ahead and answer it, okay? I would use the money wisely that is collected from the taxes of the citizens and the businesses. And if we get the sewer system and the water system straightened out, then that would be even more money for the city. And I would work with the mayor and other council to get rid of some of the unnecessary spending. And there is a lot of unnecessary spending going on that I call it frivolous things, but that's what I would do. And and I agree with him, there is money out there, but we had a grant writer and paid him $8,000, or maybe they take a percentage of what the grant is. Now, I don't know how they did that, but look at the corner bank. I mean, it's vacant. It wasn't written correctly, I don't think. You didn't have anything to do with it, and some of the previous people didn't have anything to do with it, but we need to be careful of who we get to write these grants. I mean, get a background check on them. Just make it happen.
Okay. What else? Ms. Parker?
Yes, sir.
Question. If you receive a $1 million grant to use for the city, and in a way you want it, what would you do with it and why?
Well, first of all, it's not gonna happen. Okay, they don't just say I have $1 million, so let me just say that first of all. But the number one need for the city is to replace the underground water lines that have been here for years and years and years. Extending out east to Shameless Village, those are somewhat new. Going out Charlie Fuller Road, those are newer lines. Going out to the wells, those are new lines. But in the city, some of our lines are like Swiss cheese. You have to be very careful if you have a break, not to break more. And so that $1 million right now would be no question in my mind that we would replace some of those water lines.
Ms. Wortham, same question.
Well, I agree with Mr. Parker. The infrastructure of the town or the city/city needs to be redone. And water, repair the water system. And nobody's gonna give you $1 million. I mean, there's gonna be strings attached to that, and you don't know what the strings are. So just be careful. I mean, you wish for anything, but you don't know what you're gonna get if your wishes are granted.
So, Ms. Wortham, what you're saying is,
Fix the water.
okay, that may be a hard hill, hard hill to climb to get that done.
Well, that's true, but, I mean, if you take one stone and move it, you've made progress.
Okay.
Is that all we have? Okay. That's it for this portion.
Can we make a statement or anything? Or do you want me to-
If it's something you want
You have
to
a chance.
Well, I hear a lot about the police department, and I think it's on everybody's mind. And I don't know anybody in the city that does not want a police department. I want a police department. But we did a study 2 years ago with a resident that lives right here that was working for the Secretary of State, Mr. Jimmy Callaway. And $500,000 is what he recommended what it would cost, what his estimate was, and I have that in writing. That's not counting the cars, that's not counting insurance, that's not counting workers' comp, that's not counting litigation, because in previous administrations, when I was here with 2 police departments, we were always in executive session and there were lawsuits. There was issues with our local police dealing with the county police. Right now, we're investing in additional officers for Chuck Smith, provided for Luthersville. They're not using all the funds that we're providing. Okay? If you want to add the police department, add more funds than what we're providing to Chuck Smith, and then he's in charge of training, their automobiles, their insurance, and then provide more deputies here. The problem is, there are no deputies to hire at this point. We have more coverage right now than Woodbury. We have more coverage than Warm Springs. Because we hire Meriwether deputies to work here. And we give them incentives and pay. And it helps Chuck Smith because it gives his people higher pay to be able to come up here and work. And I think you've seen them here a lot. Now, I'll be glad when the bridge is fixed. Because right now, they're having trouble traveling up and down 27. But I want to say that about the police. I would like to say, well, let me just quote Mr. Bob Trammell, former mayor. He said, Paul, this city will never be able to fix the sidewalks. We won't have that money. And I promise you, in our budgets over those 12-year time, 8 years, we were scraping by. There was no money to fix sidewalks. But we had a police department. Okay? Now we have coverage from the county, and we can hire more deputies as soon as it gets more deputies in. But we have money in our account. And I believe in recreation. The sewer system, I want to talk about that for a second. Because 94 households have failing septic systems right now. And guess what? The state said, we agreed with you. We came out and we interviewed people. We asked for $2.8 million. They gave us $3.5 million. Now we're up to $6.5 million. We hired an engineering firm that specializes in getting additional funds from the state. Not only are they a great engineering firm, it's called Carter & Sloop, and they will assist the city in getting additional funds to finish the project. And we should have groundbreaking in the next 6 months. Okay? There's a little bit more I want to say before we end, and I'm just about done. The water system. The water system, we have wells in 2 locations. In the last month, we got $1.35 million to put in additional wells and improve the water system. On an average, we pump 78,000 gallons of water. In a high summertime, we pump 111,000 gallons of water. Our capacity is 333,000. We're at 1/3 capacity right now. Now we've got growth, we've got new houses coming in, Shambridge Village is building out. But we want to add a 3rd well location, and this $1.3 million should allow us to do that. And I think that's it. I won't keep going. There's just a lot of very important stuff. The roads, every road in Luthersville should be paved by December 31st of this year, other than Wortham and Coleman Street. You've seen more paving done in the last 4 years than I've seen in 24 years here. And we were serious about the roads. Speed bumps are illegal. Speed humps and speed tables are legal, and that's what we're trying to use now in the future on these side streets where people are doing cut-throughs, because it is a problem. Recreation, we've talked about that. You do have a brand new pavilion sitting right here. I brought it to the council with an idea to replace an old building that's fallen down with a new building that can be used. I went out and got the bids. The council agreed with it. I got the person that bid, even though he was the lowest bidder, He came off $20,000 on his bid, and that's what we have. You now have LED lights, you now have Wi-Fi, if Spectrum's installed it already, okay? And it's gonna be open to the public. In the next meeting, they want to set the price of what it costs to rent a pavilion. They agreed with me in the last meeting that it should be no charge for the citizens of Luthersville. For people outside the city of Luthersville should pay a fee to help us maintain it. Now, I'm recommending a deposit so that it's not trashed. And if you want your deposit back, you will clean it up and leave it like you found it. But I appreciate your time and I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. White, do you have
Thank both of
anything
you
you want to
guys.
add? Do
What?
you have anything you want to add? You have a couple minutes left.
A little bit.
Yes, you're gonna give you an opportunity to respond.
All right, thank you. When you say that, you were talking about the police and everything like that, well, the police that are covering us are pitiful. They do not do, I mean, they sit in one place and they hope that somebody will come by so that they can, stop them. I had an incident and, the boy that, the policeman that was talking to me over the phone, he was giving me a geography lesson. And I told him, I said, I don't think that's relevant. I said, I've lived here all my life, and I know the square footage of Meriwether County. I know it's a large county. I know that we're one county under being next to Coweta. And I said, I need a policeman. That has nothing to do with them not coming up here. Then when the guy got here, he said, well, did you see it happen? No, but I have rocks. He got mad and he turned around and left. And I said, well, I need to ask you a question. He said, what? I said, what is it that you do? Why are you a policeman if you're not going to help the citizens? We need help. We need coverage. We need good policemen, not just the dregs of the county or the rookies. We don't need rookies. We need somebody with some meat to their bones. And yes, you have done that. That pavilion is nice, but we don't need that splash park. We do not need a splash park. That is just a place looking for drugs to happen, and we won't have coverage, and we won't have enough to to pay the county or whomever to watch the children. I'm not in favor of the splash park. And the water, yes, y'all have done a very good job on getting that, and the sleuth people, that company has been good. But there needs to be, I think, I don't know whether I'm shooting myself in the foot, but I think there needs to be a moratorium on the building of the build-outs that is stressing out the water, and Luthersville needs to come back and take care of the permits. I don't think that Greenville needs to be handling the permits of the building out. I really don't, and that's how we can keep a handle on things. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, it's like a nose, everybody's got one, every one of them are different. But that's just it. I'm through.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Do we get
Thank
asked
you.
questions?